what I want to give everyone today is a 4-step framework that will help you be more creative. Humans actually now have a shorter attention span than a goldfish. It's less than 10 seconds. And we all here in the room know that we're getting bombarded with more ads and more noise than ever before. So how do you stand out? I think that is about creativity. So at NAC, what we do twice a year is we get everybody in the company to create memes. That we spend 2 hours, everybody creates memes. And here are some that we came up with, and none of these were made by the marketing team. We have developers, our CTO created one. And so creativity is everywhere, and it's really up to you to tap into it. I was just at SaaStr a couple weeks ago, and I saw Ben Chestnut, who's the founder of MailChimp. They just sold their company for $12 billion. And they have a monkey in their logo. In the early days, a lot of big companies were nervous about working with them. But again, he just said, let's do it anyway. And things turned out pretty well for him. Okay, let's talk about the status quo. How many people here at work oh, well, that's just the way we've always done things. And we just do it that way, I don't know. And this is what happens at a lot of companies. Something was put in place before, and it can be hard to change the way of doing things. And so, but is this not just leading us all to create things that look the same, that aren't actually creative at all? Let's look at some logos here. Not a lot of creativity anymore. If you look before, everyone had a bit of their own personality. Now it's just sea of the same. And it's not just logos. If we look at things that we see around us, they're losing that character, the beauty, the thing that made them creative. So, I run a tech company. I can't not talk about technology. Maybe I'm a little bit biased. But if you look at history, from the time that we had print to websites to mobile to now we're getting into AR and VR, the companies that embrace technology to be creative always win. And I want to share this artwork. It's a beautiful piece of art done by a guy named Jason Allen. And he, as you can see with that ribbon there, he just won the Colorado State Fair for the category under digital artwork. And the amazing part about this piece of art is that he didn't even make that. He used an AI generator to make that. And the reporter asked him, how long did that take you? He said, about 10 seconds. And I bring this up not to scare everyone, not to say, oh, AI is going to take over our jobs, because I don't believe that is the case at all. I think that since the beginning of time, humans have been the best at connecting with other humans. And Jason, he still had to type in a huge block of text for it to make that image. And that's where all of us come in. We are going to use the new technologies, just like we always have, to be creative and to connect with our audiences. Yeah, so this is me when I had a bit of a Justin Bieber haircut going on. At my first job, my first marketing job. And I want to just wrap up by sharing my own story. and how I use the framework to be creative. So in university, I'm from Canada. I haven't said A. Oh yeah, some other Canadians, right on. I'm watching my A's whenever I'm in the US. Right? Yeah, that's a... So I was never like the best student in school. I just was kind of going to get my degree, get the piece of paper. But I remember when I took my first marketing course, and I found that passion of like, oh, I can actually use my creativity in a job and get paid for it. And my first job, like I mentioned, was at a company called Cognos, which was bought by IBM. And I came in there, I was so excited, I had so many ideas. But then I kind of met the status quo. And the status quo for me was that these emails were all code. And I didn't know how to code. And I didn't really want to learn how to code. But I didn't just kind of like say, okay, that's just how it is. I'm going to just leave it that way. You know, I eventually started a company. It would have been a lot easier probably to just learn HTML, but but I think, you know, it took some courage. I had to leave a safe, secure job, and nothing against IBM. I met some amazing people and learned so much from them, but it wasn't for me. I couldn't use my creativity. I went on to a few other startups and then eventually started Knack, and that's where this technology piece comes in for me today. I'm so, you know, excited every day that I get to help marketers be more creative because, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I feel like I got into marketing to be creative and to use that creativity. And there's a lot of things in our way to be creative, so I'm happy to be able to unblock even just one of those. So I'd like to leave everybody today with this one thing. I think creativity is your superpower. So don't let anything, whether it's process, the status quo, or fear, be your kryptonite.